Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Give me the light, give me the light. Thank you very much. She's going to pull focus every once in a while, but that's the way it works with this camera phone. Today we have Zombie at 17. This is not part of the Zombies franchise. There's lots of singing and dancing. Zombies, aliens, werewolves, and is there werewolves? I already forgot. Yeah, there's werewolves and vampires and God knows what else. No, there's no singing and dancing in this one. This is from 2018. It's an hour and 25 minutes long, and it features a girl who is. You're not really sure at the beginning if the term zombie is literal or figurative. And I mean, to its credit, that is makes it intriguing to me at the very beginning to go, okay, is this a zombie story? Is this a horror story? It is not. And I realize nobody's seen this. For the most part, more than likely, nobody has seen this or even realizes it's on Disney Plus. You will have to search specifically zombie and then scroll through all the zombies related stuff until you get this far down the list and it shows you Zombie at 17. And it's also the last alphabetical thing that you could find on Disney Plus for the most part. So, yeah, it's not an easy find. And it took me a while to discover it was even on the channel for whatever reason. There's no fanfare for it. And certainly they're not going to promote it for fear that it would confuse people who watch the Zombies franchise. But it could not be further from the truth. There's no Milo Manheim with green hair and singing and dancing for his cheerleader girlfriend. I won't spoil her story in case you haven't watched the Zombies films. This, it looks like it takes place in the United States, but it feels like it was shot in Canada. One of the things that is in this is that I found interesting at the very end, the very first credit when they go to credits after the film ends, is not like financial advisor, which is the way it was in this one. Like the financial somebody, like the person in charge of the money, gets the top credit at the end of the film. So that tells you a little something about the film, how it was made, how it was even made possible. This has. I'm going to have to spoil a few things just to even talk about this. But I'm going to do my best to not reveal any of the big turns. Okay? Yes, this is a girl who is turning into a zombie. How she's turning into a zombie? It's a little dicey. It's a little interesting. It breaks some of the zombie rules. If we're going to go by Corman, I can't recall what exactly every single one of the zombie rules is, but like The Walking Dead tends to adhere for the most part to it. Other films, other video games, other TV series and things like that, they play with the rules fast and loose depending on what they want to do in the story. Normally, if the zombie virus infects only humans and has no effect on animals, let's say. Animals unaffected. They're just dogs and cats, deer, cows, whatever. They become the remaining source of food for a lot of human beings as they try to struggle in a zombie apocalypse. In this case, there is no zombie apocalypse, but animals, a specific number of animals, a specific group of animals are affected by it. And one of the other rules tends to be, in some cases, maybe we don't always get to know what the origin or the true. We can assume that there might be what the origin is. We do get the origin of the virus. And is there a cure for it? Well, there's usually not a cure for it. Well, we got a heroine here who is slowly dying. And the thing is, she never died in the first place. That's the other thing. Normally you have to die and resurrect as a mindless, lumbering creature. Again, it's been so long since I've seen the original Night of the Living Dead and things like that. It's just I've seen Dawn of the Dead a number of times. I saw it in a graveyard once here in Hollywood. I've seen all the Walking Deads and everything else. So this takes it sort of makes its own rules, and we got a heroine who's got a boyfriend who really doesn't understand what's going on with her, and she's not really being open about it either. She doesn't understand what's going on about it. She takes notes of how her body temperature is slowly dipping lower and lower every few days, and how, unfortunately, it also it dips into certain other zombie popular culture media. Almost it copies it. I don't know if they were actually inspired or they just happened to have something that is completely similar to iZombie, which is a comic book series that got turned into a CW series many years ago, which was actually good. I really enjoyed it. It was more of a Buffy type comedy with the zombie element, but in that our main character, she was a zombie, and we figured out how she became a zombie in one of the other rules. But she would eat brains, human brains, and part of the premise of the show would be that she worked in a coroner's office, which gave her a plentiful access to lots of brains. She ate the brains of already dead people that she didn't kill. She was a good guy. She would be able to solve the mystery, especially if they were murdered. She could sort of witness their last days, and very often she'd take on the personality of the person who died. So it gave the actress who performed it. I hate myself because I really like her performance. She's fantastic, and she got to take on a lot of different personalities. She became a Scott Bakula, a quantum leap zombie in a sense, where she get to play a number of different types of people in any given episode. In this movie, she doesn't get to do that much range. She just gets to look and act more sick as lifetime goes on until she gets help in acquiring brains. And it's it comes to the point where there's some people who are just like handle it really well. And by the way, I'm a zombie. I know you don't want to believe that, and I know that's upsetting, but okay. And then that person accepts it and helps making them meals from the Korean market down the street where they sell pig brains, and then mix it into a banana smoothie or whatever, and then becomes a thing around the house. It's her mom. Her mom figures it out, or gets told, and her mom is so supportive, and I think a lot of that is because her mom doesn't want to lose another child. There's a bracketing story element to this that our main character. What sucks in this is I can't remember who is the actor name and which one is the character name. Tia. Oh yeah, Tia. That's right. Tia Scott is played by Celeste Desjardins. That's why I believe that this is very Canadian. Tia, when she was 10, her big sister got hit by a car and killed instantly right in front of her. And so, yeah. And so she's just, at this point, she's being raised by her mom, who's now single. Guess dad left after the loss of the child. And they had a younger son. So there's two sisters and a son. The older sister died when Tia was 10. And for the most part, it feels like it has no bearing whatsoever. Like, she doesn't come back from the dead or anything else until you realize how she became a zombie. And that's not a situation that her sister was ever in. And so they have dealt with death, and they've dealt with being there for each other. And so in that element, in that sense, it gives a depth to the character that says, hey, you know what? No matter what my daughter's going through, how horrible it is for her, I'm not going to abandon her when she needs me the most. So mom, she comes around and handles things pretty well. Little brother is kept in the dark, and he doesn't understand what's going on with his sister, and he plays practical jokes on her, like he's lying dead on the floor and blood pouring out of his head or something like that. He's not. He's just playing a practical joke on her, not realizing that she's gets a little peckish at the sight of it. It's a good. She doesn't overdo it. Movie is not going to be known for being getting acting awards. Let's just say there's yeah, it's not going to do that. And again, this feels like a TV movie out of Canada where a lot of the dialogue seems overdubbed, at least early on. Like, it just has that strange sound. I don't know what the sound engineer was thinking, but it doesn't fit smoothly. The relationship with her and her boyfriend doesn't seem like there's anything there, but I mean, it's like that from the moment we meet the two of them, and for the most part, he seems like a reference she makes. Oh, I have a boyfriend. And then eventually we meet him, and they act like they're close, but they're not really. They never were for the entire film. But he has friends. They're underage. By the way, she's 10 when her sister died, and then it's 9 years later. Okay, she can't drink. She is still able to drink, but she's still in high school, I think. And so they're underage for 21. It's whatever. Apparently, her boyfriend runs with a bunch of friends who are not that great. One of which kills another guy. Yeah. And one of the elements of being a zombie, apparently, just like when you're in iZombie, you get superpowers. You get super strength. In this case, I don't know if this is a case in iZombie, but she has super hearing and super sensitivity to different things. But mainly the plot device that's used is her hearing. She overhears an argument between the person who killed the other guy, and when he's found dead, well, guess what? She knows something, and once the killer finds out that she knows something, well, things get dicey. Uh, and it's all about the entire plot of this is to help her find a cure before she's too far gone. She meets somebody else who has been infected the same way she has, but is much further along. She meets a classmate who is really into zombies, and there's a research montage, which you want. And so he's just a fanboy of zombies. Like, he's the kind of guy who would be reading zombie novels, knowing all there's a Corman reference, and there is you just get the feeling that he probably would have Walking Dead posters on the wall and things like that, or just at least the trade paperbacks like lined up on his shelf somewhere. But a lot of this stuff is sort of just generic goth stuff. A lot of people in this film seem to be wearing eyeliner, even when they shouldn't be, but he's definitely wearing eyeliner. And he's sort of, a dorky goth loner type that not a whole lot of kids in the school like, apparently, because he's different. Different people bad. Different people misunderstood. And, well, he's got the hookup. He knows way too much about zombies. And, yeah, when he finally meets one, well, they're friends, because he works to try to help her. I've told you way too much about this film, and it's really out of order the way I've told it, so it's not really helping it. It does build to a culmination of where she has an opportunity to save her life, but the person who has that, one of the things, part of being a zombie and part of taking, is the loss of her memory. And the loss of her sister's memory makes it all the much more tragic. She remembers she lost her sister, but a lot of the memories of her sister when she was alive have gone. And sort of that's kind of a motivating aspect of this. But also, she doesn't want to die. She doesn't want to be turned into a bestial type of creature that just craves brains and has to be kept in chains or something. So when she has an opportunity to eat the brains of the person who knows the secret to curing it, they hand her a gun and says, "Kill me and eat my brains." I'm just like, what? Okay, you could say like it just doesn't work. Like, okay, yeah, well, okay, your brains could help me. That's great, but you're alive. Don't ask me to kill you. I'm going to be a murderer, but I'll be okay. I'll live. I don't know if you want to live with yourself if you just killed somebody and you were moral and like you're not a killer. Of course, certain circumstances come into play that um, make things happen, and we resolve the story. It is not a launching off point for a series, but it could be. She's yeah, she gets what she wants, but it's not. It doesn't mean that hey, if this was popular enough, we could make this into something more. But let's make a series. Maybe. Maybe this was the pilot for iZombie, where they just took the comic roots of the story and then they built this as a pilot, maybe? A really long pilot? An hour and 25 minutes? I don't know. Can I say you should watch this? It's a B movie. It feels like a TV movie that it was on like on Lifetime Channel. It may have been on Lifetime Channel. I don't know. It's not good. I'll put it out that way. The characters aren't compelling. The acting is depending on the person. I'm not going to say who's horrible and who's great. She's good as the central figure, but she doesn't get to do a lot beyond just feel the pain. And then when she starts getting worse and worse, and she maybe starts turning a little bit darker when she doesn't get enough brains, her groans don't sound painful. Let's just say. It's just, yeah. So it seems to just sort of stitch together a number of different elements that could be compelling and were executed well in iZombie, but yeah, it just sort of lingers for the most part. I think it's something that somebody put together, and it probably struggled to exist. That's why the financial person gets top credit at the end of the film. Yeah. So, so yeah, I don't recognize any of the actors in this, the names of anybody. Yeah, I don't. That's why I kind of think it's Canadian. Even though a ton of actors in Hollywood come from Canada, and they're really great. So, if you're looking for your standard zombie blood and guts and chasing through the streets kind of thing, no, this is not what you want. Do you want a romance with song and dance? No, this is not what you want. If you want a kind of a B movie, and you love just you want to make sure you check off the list that you've seen everything zombie related, sure, go for it. But I can't say I recommend it as a must see, unfortunately. Again, there's the elements of being a zombie at 17, that whole element of just opening this thing, making me go, is this something that's metaphorical or real, was compelling at first. When then I realized that, yeah, this is a real thing she's dealing with, it kind of lost the mystique. We've seen that in other films that being a zombie is a metaphor for the change of your body or becoming a teenager or coming of age kind of thing. We've seen that in a number of films, usually more lighthearted than they would be gory. But yeah. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead did that when it came to adulthood. It just sort of growing out of just maturing as an adult. But this isn't going to do it for you. I'm sorry to say. I don't try to be mean or cruel when it comes to these things, but Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 132. Don't have to scroll too far. Okay. Oh, well. This past week in Las Vegas, there was a Star Trek convention. And no, there's nothing Star Trek on Disney Plus that I know of. I've looked at this list a lot, and there's no Star Trek because they do not own Star Trek yet. Somebody else owns Paramount now, Skydance. We'll see how all that rolls out. But this does feature an actor from Star Trek, and it's a documentary, and it's about the supernatural. It's about aliens, I believe, or things that are just unexplained. This is the Unexplained without an E with William Shatner. They intentionally misspelled unexplained because that X just says everything. They couldn't get David Duchovny to do it, I'm sure. But hey, just like his old buddy Leonard Nimoy used to do a very similar type of show. I'll talk about this more tomorrow, but it's a documentary. We'll watch at least one episode, and I'll come back here and talk to you about it. The Unexplained with William Shatner is what we're watching next. Captain Kirk himself on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.